Behind me is Gwanaksan Mountain, and this is where we are heading today. The peak is 632 meters, and Gwanak actually means the mountain of the hat-shaped peak. There was some recent snowfall, so we have some snow about. So let's take it easy today because my ice spikes are in the UK. I accidentally forgot them there. So we're going to take it slow and just enjoy the journey. So to prevent any leg injuries, I'm going to do my stretches like normal to stop that knee from hurting. Okay, before we start, the time is 11:48 and the temperature is 5 degrees currently, so that should warm up a little bit as we hit maybe 1-2 o'clock, but it shouldn't take me too long today. So this face of Gwanaksan here, or the beginning part, which is by Sadang Station, which is where we're starting our route from, has many old fortifications that you can see. One here, there's one over here, which I'm not familiar with the history on, but I can only assume they were built, back in the day. Look at this one, for example. Looks like it's been there a little while. Let's take a look. Nice little observation post here. Here we have some kind of cave, which is pretty cool. Some old writing on the wall here. Here is the open position. I'm guessing this is some kind of mount for possibly a gun or some kind of optics. Let's bring this into the light. It's pretty neat, pretty cool. Anyway, let's continue the hike. Another fortification here with the sort of trench going to it for access, and some nice stone cairns. This fallen tree over here. Now, if you saw my last video in the UK, I was eating with a wooden spoon that I said I made from red pine here in Korea, and this was the spot I came to. I took a branch off of this piece. As you can see, there's still the shavings a little bit, and part of this branch here was actually the actual branch I made that spoon out of. Now at the top of Gwanaksan there is actually a temple and a weather station, which I'm looking forward to having a look at. So we've come across our first temple here, Gwanamsa, which we can see just through these trees. So I'm going to head down here and see if we can have a look inside. This place is very peaceful, as you might imagine. Nestled into the mountains, amongst the sun and the snow. The artwork in this place, or in all temples really, obviously hand painted, but incredible really. So peaceful. Almost makes me want to become a monk and move up here. I don't know what to call this, but look at this giant pagoda-shaped kind of statue here. Anyway, I think it's time to press on to the peak of Gwanaksan. It is now 12:30. I have to get to work later on, so I'm a online teacher. I'm sure that's no surprise to anyone. Every foreigner who lives in Korea is basically a teacher of some kind. So before we tackle these stairs here and make our way to the next peak, I'm going to eat some Pringles. Look at Korean Pringles for you. Look at the size of that. It's about half the size of a British Pringle. Absolutely tiny. But still, it's a snack. I suppose if you've been watching my videos and you don't know who I am, then you probably don't know why I'm in Korea, how I got here, etc, etc. So I'll dive into that a little bit later when we get nearer the top. For the meantime, that is no view to be sniffed at, good sir. Wow. Look at this. Lotte Tower over there. Seoul Tower there. Very faintly Bukhansan at the back. And here, through the trees, we have the 63 building. How's this for a mount? I made sure I brought some tape. I've taped it to a tree. That is professionalism. Just got donked on the head by a bit of snow. Hit me right in there. Oh god, there's another bit falling there. Damn trees. This is a treacherous path. And of course, this wouldn't be a Korean mountain without a gym halfway up. I still find that absolutely crazy. Pretty good idea though, I like it. These stairs are a little icy and a bit slippery. Better be careful. Don't want to be falling down now, do we? No we don't. Wow, look at these stairs. Looks like, I don't know if you've ever played Skyrim, but the stairs, they go up to the top where the big god people are shouting at dragons. Anyway, whatever. Looks like that. Looks lovely. Wow, so cool, super cool. Have another little fortification here and a sign here that says Wihom, which means danger. So yeah, basically don't jump off the edge of the mountain because that would be dangerous, yes. Okay, we push on up these steps, which remind me of some sort of ascent on a roller coaster as you're going up. It's quite windy up here, as you can probably hear. Hands are a little bit cold. Hell yeah! Look at this. Down here, up this bit, you can see in the distance just where that plane is heading over the weather station. We're gonna stop here on this massive outlook and have some food and some drink because it's out of the wind this side. Maybe one of my favourite mountains so far in Korea. One thing I am very annoyed at myself for doing is thinking this will be a little bit shorter than it was and not taking my spare batteries with me. And this one is on 45%, so let's hope it lasts. Okay, these stairs are doing me in. That is the destination over here. It still looks like we've got quite a way to go. We're on relatively flat terrain now, just walking over the peaks of this particular ridge in this nice forested area with the snow. It's very, very picturesque and lovely. Whoa! You hear that woodpecker? I wonder if we can see it. No way. So this is a fake tree where they put these communication devices, and there is a woodpecker just here trying to get into it. I wonder if you can see just up there. Poor woodpecker, it's not even a tree. So, back to the reason why I'm here in Korea. I originally lived in Thailand for 1 year teaching English out there, and it was during COVID, and I had to unfortunately come back to the UK because of that. I started watching, some Thai movies, and that led to Korean movies and dramas, etc., etc. I bought myself a plane ticket and didn't just want to travel, so I decided to enroll at Dongguk Daehakyo, Dongguk University, to study the Korean language just while I was here for 6 months and travelling. And of course, most importantly, I met my girlfriend Minji. Then I had to go back to the UK because I ran out of money. So I'll talk more about that when we get up there. Now, when we get to the top, we don't necessarily have to come down this way because this is one of the longer ways up. So maybe, time dependent, we'll opt on doing another route, we'll see. This is awesome. Look at this landscape. This tree thriving up in this mountain. Big boulders and stones, snow-capped peaks. An absolute pleasure to explore. The snow is covering more of the path. Now we're getting higher. We've still got some fortifications all the way up here, which is pretty cool. Just being real careful not to fall over, of course. A lovely winter's landscape, like Narnia. I haven't seen Narnia in a long while. I can't even remember what happens, other than there's a goat man in it called Mr. Tumnus. Looks like we're heading up this ridge towards that kind of direction. I don't even know if we can access that area up there, but we're gonna try and have a look. As we're approaching the top, it's a lot more foot traffic. I'm seeing more people, still not many. 안녕하세요. 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 네. 안녕하세요. 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 Probably could do with my ice spikes or some poles now. It's becoming a little slippery. I'm going to slow down. Yeonju-dae Cheongsang, the summit. We do now have quite the steep section of just scrambling over these rocks, which looks quite fun. There's no snow on them, which is a good thing. Means I can have some proper grip. Now how is this for a view? Wow, this rock, the perfect archway. Whew. I don't know if you can hear that, but off at the peak I can hear the call or the song, not prayer, of some monks. It's really quite cool up in the mountains listening to that. Look at that, we're almost there. Approaching the top. Temple nestled into the mountains up here. Pretty cool. Now the last section of this has some pretty steep drops either side, so you do have to be kind of careful when doing this bit. Pretty epic though, look at that. It's quite windy up here, but we have reached the weather station. Look at this, people working on these towers. The dome you can see from down in Seoul. Wow, that is cool. That is cool. Amazing. Temperature 4 degrees. Listen to that wind blowing through. It's probably time I put my coat back on. But look at this. This is incredible. I don't know if this is being played. Well, it is being played through a speaker, but I don't know if it's live. It's inside. Let's go. Let's go. Look at this. This is super cool. So inside this building here, this that you can hear over the speaker is being played through a microphone. It's all live currently. What a place to have your temple. Look at this. This is awesome. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to start walking down the other side now to try and find another route down, a slightly quicker one, so I can get back in good time. The time right now is 2:47. I mean, look at that temple where I just was, on the edge of the massive cliff to doom underneath. We're going to follow this route, and this one will take us down another way, a shorter way, and from the top here to Seoul National University should take an hour to an hour and a half, so much quicker way down for sure. Not entirely sure this is the right way now I'm up here. It's a very thin ridge across very steep drops either side. Quite a lot of wind. Let's have a look, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm sure there was a better way to have accessed it, but there is the path I need to be on, so cut down here and across and I should make it. But I think I've gone the sketchy route for sure. Okay, I've just got to follow this ridge where this guy is. Up, down. Oh look, there was the easy path. Should have just followed that one. That would have been boring though, wouldn't it? Okay, we're going to start our descent down. It's quite windy this side of the mountain, so I'll wait till the wind dies off and then we can take some time to sit down, eat and continue the story. Okay, let's get some food on. But anyway, as I was saying, I met Minji here. Then I had to fly home to the UK to get some more money because I ran out. Finally, I was able to have enough money to come back to Korea, obviously to see Minji. So I'm back in Korea now, and that was December 2023. So I spent all of 2024 here. I have about 10 months left of my current visa. So I'm looking forward to spending my last year here, doing some more videos up these mountains, hiking, really trying to see what Seoul and Korea has to offer. We'll try and find a way to remain in the country. It's a little challenging because I've already extended my visa once, and once I've done that I can't continue, so we shall see. We shall see. Okay, back on the trail. Let's get down to the station. But for the meantime, these stairs, and a nice old Snickers bar. And finally, we are on a route without some ice. So it should be happy sailing from here on out. Look at the size of this guy's pack. He's bringing up supplies to the temple, or the place at the top. Three huge boxes of Pocari. And back on top. Can you guys see all? Now that is absolute dedication. Less than 10% battery now, but we have made it to Seoul National University. So everybody, thank you for joining me on today's mission to Gwanak-san. It's been an absolutely fantastic hike, and actually one of my favourite, if not my favourite, in Korea so far. If you have any recommendations of other mountains to hike, especially near Seoul, or any outdoor activities to do, please tell me down in the comments. Failing that, there are obviously plenty more mountains outside of Seoul I know about. Jirisan, Halusan, Soraksan, which are definitely on my list. But I'm going to wait till it warms up a little for those. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me on today's adventure. Stay tuned for more. And as always, don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!